Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain YouTube, multicasting on course on 3 different channels. So wicked to see everybody here. Hope everybody is doing well, and I'm just getting things finished up there, but I think we're ready. So let's see us in the chat there at the moment. We had some volatility on Bitcoin today as well, so we're going to talk about that. There's some pretty crazy stuff there on the old Bitcoin. In the last 12 hours or so, it's been very volatile. I'm going to talk about all that, and of course, we're going to be talking about the big 4 DeFi ecosystems rolling in on Pulsechain soon, and literally soon, within the next say 2 months. So it's going to be a lot of fun, folks. It's September, October, and yeah, get ready. It's going to be epic. We're kind of in that little quiet spot. We've had obviously a lot of small, medium-sized protocols with 1 or 2 larger protocols launched like PHUX and Fiat, and we've had a lot of middle-sized protocols launched, but we're waiting for the big ones to come. And this time we're going to focus on the ecosystem. So I'm going to talk about that later on once we get up to Pulsechain projects. So stay tuned for all that. Other than that, we're going to be looking at the stock market, the crypto market, Pulsechain market prices, of course. And then we're going to get into the presentation today. We've got a presentation around the 4 big DeFi ecosystems. So stay tuned for that. What else we're going to say? Hex Daily Stats. Of course, we're going to get into that and get the results. So I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe, whatever channel you're on. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And get into our Discord. The link is in the video description as well. We may touch on TYRH protocol a bit later, and maybe even a TYCZ a little bit. Has a few little extras, so we'll probably get into talking about that a bit later too. Let's get into it. Let's say hello. Let's say hello to the people. People have arrived, and we've got Lies Beneath in the house. How are you today? Very good, of course. Good to see you, Lies, as always. And the golden crypto strategy of this channel, of course, or these channels, I should say, is Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLSX, an incentive for the 100%, the Richard Hart golden standard of crypto. What else there? We've got Archie in the house there. Hi, all. Good to see you, Archie. Welcome to the chat, one of our awesome moderators there. And we've got Pudding Guru, pushed our tree time back so I can be early for once. Nice one there, Pudding Guru. Appreciate that. And great to have you in the chat. We've got Joey Torres as well. What's up? Good to see you, Joey. Check My Pulse. Good evening, Superman. Woohoo! Get excited. What's up, Hex Token family, for Check My Pulse. So big shout out. We've got Cypher in the house. Hey, Cypher, it's been a little while. Good to see you. 1000x on LUSD incoming, it says that type of liquid loans. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. What else did we got? Dan Wednesday, win Lambos and Ferraris in the future, no doubt. In the future there, Dan. For the believers. And I'm not talking about Justin Bieber believers, for the Pulsechain believers. We got Brian in the house, one of our 2 community leaders. Big shout out to Brian, crushing it every day in our Discord, of course. If you like to get great alpha from Brian, he's always in there and helping people onboard to Pulsechain and Hex and everything like that. So he's amazing. September burns, but prepare for Rocktober. Nice one, Adam. Now that is a great saying. September burns, but prepare for Rocktober. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. We've got Wookie in the house as well. Wookie over the moon, and Wookie doing pretty good with his DGM trades lately. Go Wookie. And of course, John Neese as well. What's good? All good to see you, John. Welcome to the chat. We're gonna have a fun time. Shall we get into it, folks? I think we might. Let me just pull up one more thing here before we go. And I'm gonna pull that over. And I think we're almost there. Let me jump over to that button. I just pulled this up now because I wasn't going to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it. I'll let this go there. Bam. All right. I'm going to move that around. I think I will a little bit. Bam. I'll let us push that over there and let's go. Pull that over there and let's jump away from them on the wrong page. Let's scroll back up there. Man, oh man, talk about reorganizing live on stream. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Bam, there we go. Still got the stock market news today. Stock market today, Dow closes just below flatline as Apple falls in tech and stumble. I don't have no idea who writes these titles. I mean, they're all pretty pigeon English. But in any case, we've got the Dow Jones, S&P 500, and NASDAQ all down today. NASDAQ down 1%. Remember, that's got all the tech companies in it. Dow Jones got all their big industrials in it, and that's pretty flat today, actually. Dow Jones, not too bad. but just S&P and NASDAQ down. Let's have a quick look at the commodities. We've got oil sitting around $89 to $92. So oil's gone up a bit in price, isn't it, per barrel? And of course, we've got gold sitting at $19.35, pretty much sitting, moving sideways. You can see it on the chart there, just kind of moving sideways. Look at the month there. Yeah, just sort of pretty sideways there at the moment and dipping down a bit, if anything. So yeah, it was sitting around 1940, just dipping down today. Silver down at $23.37. So that's pretty much the stock market and commodities. Let's go to what's coming up in the economic data. We've got inflation. So incoming inflation report is coming up. And we've got incoming inflation report ahead of the federal decision next week. So we're 1 week away from the Federal Reserve decision and for September. Investor attention was also dominated by the upcoming consumer inflation report due Wednesday. So it's Wednesday US time, expected to confirm the recent signs of a slowing inflation, which would be great. That would be great. Economists expect the headline consumer price index, or CPI, picked up pace in August, rising 0.6% from 0.2% pace the prior month. But core inflation, which is more closely watched by the Fed and excludes food and energy, is expected to have remained steady at 2% last month, but slowed to a 4.3% in the 12 months through to July. The slowing price increases in the price goods following a switch in demand from goods to services post-pandemic was the likely catalyst behind slowing inflation last month. The main category driving a disinflation in August is core goods, which we expect another negative print, said Morgan Stanley. The consumer inflation data comes ahead of producer price inflation data due Wednesday in the Federal Reserve decision on September the 20th, when the U.S. Central Bank will likely keep its benchmark unchanged. And that's the key takeaway for us here, is that it's going to be unchanged. Now let's go over to the actual monitor there and see what people are saying about their expectations. So we've got 1 week and 18 hours to go until the Federal Reserve decision on the 20th September at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We've got the September expectation from the market is 92% say we're going to have a no change in the federal funds rate or interest rate, and that is at 5.5%. So that's where that's at. November, however, is still potentially pricing in a rate rise. So we will see how we get on. Obviously, CPI on Wednesday will be important. And we're sitting currently at 38%, think that we might get another 25 basis point rise in November. Now, we've got a fingers crossed that doesn't happen. It's one thing having the interest rates up longer, but we really don't want to get any more rate rises. So hopefully the CPI data comes in nicely and we can get the terminal rate behind us at 5.5 would be very cool. So fingers crossed for that in November. So that is that. All right. So let's jump away from the stock market and the Federal Reserve. Let's jump into crypto. At the moment, BTC, Bitcoin there, $25,809. Having a nice little pump overnight, but quite volatile over the last half a day as well. So every hour it's sort of up and down, zigzagging around. Bitcoin there, 25,890, up 3% on the 24-hour basis, with the dominance there sitting around 48.2% on the Bitcoin dominance here, 48.2%. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin chart. This is versus Coinbase, and we can see this on the hourly. Look at that volatility. So we had a big pump back here at 3 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, and then look at that. Wow, look at that. Zip, 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 zip. Up we go all the way up to 26,500. But look, zigzag down, and we're back. We're back down again at 25,822. Are we getting trolled? Are we getting trolled by the manipulators in the market? Pump it up and get you to buy up here, right, and then sell you all down. They're such meanies, these market manipulators, and down we go, right? So that's probably what's happening here. They let us go up. Look at this one here. Pump it. Look, pump. Get you to sucker you in here, and sell you down right back down there and demoralize you. Look at that. That's just rinse and repeat. These little rat bags. Here's another one. Look at that. Another one there. Rinse and repeat. So it is a trickster game at the moment. So that is a Bitcoin. The interesting thing, if we go to the daily, let's go to the daily on Bitcoin on versus on the Coinbase there. We got potentiality. We had our golden cross here, remember? So golden cross, we got the 50 EMA, so exponential moving average. Remember, exponential moving average versus simple moving averages weight more contemporary time periods at the front end. So that's what the more contemporary recent prices get weighted more closely on the average. And here we are. We had the 50-day in the yellow there moving over the blue line, which is the 200 moving average. So 200 is a longer moving average, 200 daily periods, whereas the yellow there is a 50-day moving average, right? And it weights the more recent days in that average. And of course, here we are. We've got this golden cross going over with the short term over the long term, and that was kind of bullish. And we saw the price rising up there quite nicely all the way since, when was this, 17th of February. And then how we're coming back down here, looks like we're coming back to challenge the 200-day moving average. And will we get what they call a death cross, right? So the death cross back up here back in January 22. So are we going to see a dual death cross here? Now, they don't necessarily have to stay around for very long. I mean, look at back here in June 21, we had a death cross. Didn't stay around long, and we actually managed to rally back out into Richard Hart's famous Judas candle here in November 21. So it definitely can happen. We've seen it many other times too here. Here's another couple examples of the death cross and then a golden cross back up. So definitely can, stay in there for a little bit, but then bounce out. Now, we're not out of that quite yet. We haven't actually quite crossed yet, but, we need some strong little price action probably to help us avoid, some pretty aggressive price action to help us avoid a little death cross here. We will see. So some food for thought at the moment as we are getting pretty close to it on the 50 EMA versus the 200 EMA there. So a bit of extra analysis there. But there we've got Bitcoin. Of course, we've got the ETF expected for the beginning of next year. We've got the halvening in about 215 days. And typically, I was talking to Brenton, our TA specialist, in the Discord yesterday. And typically, we might see the market start to rally for that at least about maybe 6 months ahead. So maybe that means, obviously, September, pretty crappy month most times. I think it's been a bad month for crypto generally since 2017. And then as we move, get close to this halvening, Bitcoin halvening and ETF news, then we could do quite well. Now, I think the halvening is going to lift the price of Bitcoin, but the ETF is really going to supercharge it in terms of getting some of those bigger prices in there as well. So yeah, and of course we've seen people talk about 150K Bitcoin and things like that as a result of the ETF because it will ultimately funnel a lot of traditional money into crypto. That's the idea there. People don't have to hold custody of Bitcoin, and that's a big advantage to a lot of big financial places. You don't have to think about security and everything else. So that's some of the bullishness there. So we'll be watching out for that. So that's Bitcoin. So no real news for this year I was expecting for Bitcoin, but maybe the halving, we start get a ramp up maybe from November onwards, and maybe even second half of October, we would start to see Bitcoin do some things. So that's kind of the outlay there. Ethereum, of course, is likely to outperform because we have particular news that we could have for this year in October around ETF there, futures ETF, and also the proto-dank sharding upgrade as well, potentiality. So Ethereum might be the leader here this year. So yeah, that's sort of the highlights there at the moment. Everything else is pretty green, up all them up a couple of percentage points at the moment. So there we are. We're still in Bitcoin season, of course. Haven't moved to altcoin season. We haven't had an altcoin season since the end of 2022, about October. So we're still waiting for altcoin season, right? You guys all know that pretty well. So that's pretty much it for that. That is the crypto. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we did a bit extra coverage there. Why not? And we're going to get into Pulsechain, Pulse gains, because we're just finishing up day 123 on Pulsechain. So still pretty early, just past the 4-month mark now for Pulsechain. And we're going to talk about some of the bullish ecosystems that have been going to be dropping very soon, actually, within the next probably 2 months, with closer certainty now, with more approximation to certainty that they'll be pretty close. So we're going to talk about all of that. Before we do that, though, let's get into the chat and catch up with people. So we've probably got a few more people in the house. We've got Dan Wednesday, Zen, 10,000X incoming, says Dan. Blair SM, hi all, good to see you, Blair, as well. Red Bull in the house says Zen, 1,000X incoming as well. Are you guys working together? Are you and Dan working together? You guys tag teaming? And then we've got Brian in the house as well. Hashtag family channel says Brian. Yeah. All right, good one, Brian. And let's get into it, folks. Let's jump away to the Pulsechain update. So day 123 results. We've got Pulsechain at quadruple 0362. We've got some green little percentages there, so that's good news. We're at 36% of the sacrifice price there. Down there where the biggest sharks are in terms of the sacrifice price. That's where you're being able to buy now, like a shark was back at the Pulsechain lobby there when it was launching. So pretty amazing. We've got PulseX at the moment. Let's just go to the Pulsechain price there. Chart. That is the chart there. Have we got higher lows? Yeah, we've still got higher lows. We're down at 3,300 back here on the 27th. That was the low, all-time low there, 27th. We've still got a higher low, not by much, but we've got higher lows at 3,450. So still higher lows there, but not by much. And here we are at the moment, just at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. And maybe, hopefully, we'll dig out from the very slightly higher low, some momentum up to the upside there if you're looking for an upward chart. Now, obviously, this is a buyer's market at the moment. And, of course, people are buying and accumulating. That's the main game. And, of course, we heard Johnny Chaos in yesterday's video, accumulate. So let's actually bring that video in again because it's a pretty good video from Johnny Chaos. I played it a couple of times, but it's always a good piece of wisdom there.
Seriousness, I told you guys, year one for Pulse is accumulation year, period. If you expected it to go up 10x to 100x in the first couple months, first couple days, whatever you thought it was going to do, I told you no. I told you it takes 1 to 2 years for a new chain to even mature. I also said the price could go as low as 1/10 of the sacrifice rate. Because you get these moon concepts in your head and think that's what it's supposed to do. Those are expectations that you put on yourself, what you expected it to do. I can walk up to a roulette table and I can expect to hit 00 first shot, but it doesn't mean I'm going to, now does it? Okay? These expectations are what you put on yourself. It takes a new chain 1 to 2 years to even get out of the gate. Anybody that sold Hex year one regrets it. Yes, even at today's prices, year one prices were much worse, and selling Hex at year one prices sucked. You'd been better off selling year two. So where are we at with a brand new chain? Accumulation. That's where we're at. If you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you.
All right, so some wise words there from Johnny Chaos. And let's bring back the chart there. So, but the good news is today we got a nice green candle. And how long? We've got 10 minutes to go for this candle to close. And we're back up at 3,600. So we got down as low as 3,469. We're back up at 3,623. So a nice little green candle forming there as well. Let's hope we can get a bit of momentum from there. Now, let's go to PulseX. PulseX is the big news today, though. We're at 50944. So we've still got 5 zeros on it. Kind of feels crazy. But there we are, 50944. We're up 2.54%. So we're up about the same as, or just slightly higher than the Pulse at the moment as we speak. One Pulse will get you 3.84 PulseX at the moment. So definitely Pulse looking strong there. Not quite back at 4 to 1, but 3.84 is pretty good. And of course, we're below 10% of the sacrifice price there for the average medium and there, and of course below the biggest whale as well. So below the biggest whale, pretty amazing. Below the overwatched whales and things like that of the world, the Hex God whale, we're below that rate at 9%. So some pretty crazy prices there. You're beating out the whale prices from the sacrifice. Amazing on there at the moment. Now, obviously, there's way more holders of PulseX than Pulse. Rat Pulse, for example, is about 25,000 holders, and PulseX is about 183,000 holders if you go to the holder account, the wallet account at the moment. So that's some of the explanation there why that is. And of course, remember when the sacrifice price was on, it was like a 4 wallet to 1 ratio at that time. So you got to remember that those factors in there as well. Now, the big news, of course, the big news today is that the buy and burn is spectacular. 415 billion PulseX has been bought and burned, not just burned, but bought and burned. So it gives buy pressure, and but it also burns it all. And that is now 2%. We've hit 2% of the public supply, and that excludes the OA or the origin account, which we consider inactive, right? So 415 billion, 2% already burned in 123 days. So that's the big news today. A huge milestone. Bring on 3%. That's our next target, right? 3%. So exciting times. And this is while we're in a bear market, we're in accumulation phase, and this thing is just ticking away. And remember that Pulsex is just going down. So we have the total supply, and it's just going to keep going down. Now, if you're on PancakeSwap and other places like that, Uniswap, they don't have these mechanisms, right? So they don't have these mechanisms. And on PancakeSwap in particular, they've added all these deflation initiatives to try and get the inflation down from the token, right? If you see the price chart, it's just pretty much gone down. Like it's had little bumps at the beginning, and it's just pretty much gone down. And of course, Pulsex is actually burning the other way. So it's going to give us the superior tokenomics. That's going to play out over time. So really cool, especially when we start getting a bit more demand, a bit more trend back up as we head into a bull market. This is going to play an even bigger role, right? And so it's maybe not that important at the moment. It's an amazing milestone, and it's burning, but the supply is actually shrinking. So if the supply is shrinking, and then you've got increase in demand over time, well, you do the math, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Incentive token at the moment is at 99 cents, so it's back up 1.8%. The ratio is 27,385. So that's what's going on there at the moment with that. There's 11 million now incentive tokens in supply, with 76,000 burned through the TRH process there. So that's pretty cool. That equates to 0.72%. So that is Pulsex and incentive token. Let's quickly look at those charts. That is the Pulsex chart at the moment. So let's have a look where we are from all-time highs here, how far down we have come. So we're going to go around about, I guess about there. What is that? We're going to go about there. And so we're down at the moment about at 93%. So how far down could we get? Let's do the bearish scenario first. Let's go to 95%. So 95% retrace would be down to 6,884. So there's always potentiality for that, but nothing inevitable. At the moment, of course, we are pretty much bouncing around down from, what do we get down to as low as 508868 at the moment. So that's where we are at the moment. And we're back up at 509434. So we'll see where we head from here. Obviously, we're in search of a bottom. Have we got the bottom in? Was it in? We will find out. Obviously, we're down about 93%. And like I say, 95% gets us down into this high 6,000 mark back down here. But we will see whether we get there or not, or whether we break this trend, we find the bottom, and up we go. So that is it at the moment. The incentive token at the moment is obviously at 99 cents, almost back at $1. And we've got a green candle in play as well. We've got 6 minutes to go before it closes off. And of course, the ratio at the moment is 27,385. So the ratio is still down a little bit, but the price, because Pulse is up relatively more, the price is up slightly, almost back at $1 on the old incentive token. So those are the leading numbers there. Let's get into Hex. Hex at the moment, we've got Hex at 0.007, so 0.7 of a penny. It's up 5.09%. So it's the best performer out of the Richard Hart Gold and cryptos at the moment. And of course, eHex there is at 0.034, so 0.34 of a cent. The combined price of eHex and pHex is 1.04 cents. So we're back over 1 cent. Nice to see as well. And I think we dipped slightly below that yesterday. We did. And of course, at the moment, 1 pHex equals 194 Pulse. So that's got strengthened. Hex is strengthened versus Pulse there. And 1 pHex will get you 2.09 eHex at the moment. So it looks like pHex is strengthened against eHex as well. So that is the good news there. Let's have a look at the charts. That is pHex there. We've got higher lows. This chart looks better, obviously, than the Pulse and Pulsex and charts. And of course, the incentive chart there, we've got a clear higher low here. Set it in at around about 6,500 of a penny. And we're currently at 0.7 of a penny at the moment. So the pHex is definitely looking like the stronger out of the group at the moment. Let's have a look. Despite yesterday's relative weakness, yesterday was a relative weakness day, though, versus the others. eHex as well is up as well. We're at 300th of a penny there. Nice little green day. And we've had almost double, touched that twice now, double bottom at 0.3 of a penny. But we're back up at 3,300th. So that's good news too. Looking at the combined charts, one moment caller as we render. Let's pull that up, and I've had to refresh this. This is the combined chart of eHex and pHex. Let's go to the hourly though and have a look at that. That is the hourly chart at the moment. So we definitely broke below 1 cent We're down at 0097, but we've managed to pick up our bags. And in the last 6 hours, we have managed to go and pop back over 1 cent there. And we're now at 1.037 cents. So yeah, bring that on. Onwards and upwards, right? So that is pretty much that on the old investex.io. That is pretty much the markets there. Anything else I'm going to say? Let's go look at the validators. We've been breaking records with validators. So we're currently at 40,395. So we're just off the all-time high for validators. And we've got 1.29 trillion Pulse is stuck with the validators or staked with the validators that cannot be sold at the moment. So that's good news. And we've got obviously some big news coming up. So we're going to talk about that. The gas price, of course, Pulsechain is the first full system stake copy of Ethereum. And of course, we've got all the good stuff that comes with Ethereum, a battle hardened, tested network, but we've got the superiority improvements as well. We're 17% times faster. And of course, we're massively cheaper, generally speaking. But that's come down in the last couple of days because we've had some quite high gas prices recently, which is potentially a sign of a good chain, right? Potentially a sign of a good chain. And, Richard talks about that. And we've played that video clip a couple of times about the chain, getting filled up and getting, being successful that way. Have I still got that video? I think I might have. Let's play a little clip of that.
Oh my God, will Pulse fill up? Yes. If it accrues so much value and gets so many users, yeah, the fees will go up and you'll just get really, really rich holding Pulse watching. Oh no, more really, really rich people. Like, you can't, here's the thing. You cannot force a free market to keep things cheap, because then crappy use cases that aren't valuable will outbid useful and valuable use cases. And do you want your chain with limited capacity to be filled up with crap? No, you don't want your chain filled up with crap. You want it filled up with nice, good things. Well, then how do you know what the difference between nice and crap is? By bidding. And the people that see more value in the chain pay more to use the chain. And then your limited resource chain, through the bidding mechanism, is filled with the most valuable things that people can fill it with. And so this like socialist USSR decree that, we're just going to have cheap fees forever, it doesn't work, because there's a finite amount of space and you have to allocate it to certain users. And who should you allocate it to? Those that can most afford it, because they're bidding with their money for how valuable the transaction is. So the solution to a limited resource isn't to screw around with the pricing. The solution to a limited resource is to create more of the resource. So the Ethereum chain is full. Great. Well, we're going to make one with 4 times more throughput, and it won't be full. It'll be empty, and let's go fill it up.
All right, so some wise words here from Richard. And of course, we've been seeing some increases in transactions for a number of reasons, protocols and tokens that have been rallying on the old Pulsechain. And of course, you can see some of the transactions here with some of these more spikes happening with the transactions, which is a good sign. And of course, that's impacted, of course, the gas prices. We've seen elevated gas prices for quite a few days. At the moment, we're back up here at 2.1 million beats at the moment, or grey. And of course, we were getting quite comfortable down at the 400,000 when there were less transactions going on. And we thought, oh, yeah, this is amazing. And we were like 1,500, 2,000 times cheaper than Ethereum. At the moment, we're at 185 times cheaper. We're seeing this more often lately, which is maybe a good sign, right? We haven't even got a lot of the big protocols launching and a lot of the medium-sized ones that are coming through. So it's going to be fun times, folks, fun times. Anyway, at the moment, of course, it's 2 cents for a Pulsex swap. 0.2 of a penny for a Pulse coin transfer, and basically half a penny for a PRC20 transfer at the moment on the old Pulse chain. So pretty cool. That leads us into, of course, the markets. We're going to talk all about the projects and get into a presentation coming up soon. But let's say hello to a few other people that have jumped in here. We've got Tombos says 33 weeks until we hit the 50 weeks to shake out the non-believers, apparently, says Tombos. MBS says Brian's cousin Johnny. Yeah, Johnny Chaos. Is that really your cousin? It was MBS just being cheeky. We got Brennan in the house there. Morning, folks. Good to see you, Brennan. Big shout out to you. And Passive Income, good evening, everybody from the Philippines here. A big welcome from the Philippines. Very, very cool. Pulsex says to do all the dexes on Pulsechain have to use Pulsex. They don't have to. Depends on what different protocol they're doing, whether they're aggregating or not. So some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them their own pools. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, depending if you're talking about PHAX or Petias or whatever you're talking about. But if they're an aggregator, they'll be running through all the different dexes and pools and getting you the best rate through those. And one they may or may not be PulseX V1 and V2 in that provision. Jenna in the house there. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Jenna, good to see you. But I would say in most cases, they'll be routing through PulseX for a lot of the transactions, obviously with the big pools there. Stable coins probably more oriented towards PHAX in some cases, might be more efficient. All right, Hex Evolved is keep wondering if I should buy more PHEX. While PulseX is super cheap at the moment, it's kind of like the easy play for me. It's only 9.5% of sacrifice price. It just seems the easier play. Now we do have potentialities of synthesized staking pools to come soon. Any third-party other protocol that may be dropping, either an RH derived one or a third party. There's still lots of different options out there for that. And of course, upgrades, limit orders, DAO, and things like that. The DAO could have some interesting mechanisms as well. Brian says he is not. He is not your cousin. Envy is out of his mind. That's funny. That's the comedy for the day, folks. All right, let's jump back into the charts and have a look at the. First of all, we're going to get a top PRC 20s. Now, obviously, because Pulsechain is the first, a fork of Ethereum and full system stake copy with all the tokens, we've got price discovery going on, right? So I've got a list here of the top PRC 20s. These are essentially the copies of the ERC 20s, and we're having a look at the results at the moment. So we're going to have a look by liquidity, size of liquidity. That's what I filtered it by. And we can see that PDI, which has been the talk of the town, is up 8.5%. So you can't keep a good thing down, apparently. So PDI there has got a lot of support. We got Wrap Bitcoin 2 back over $100, up 25%. Looking pretty good. And yeah, looking nice there. Pepe is up 5% as well on the big liquidity. These are ranked by liquidity, remember. Maker is up 13% and SHIB is up 15% as well. Now, Pepe and SHIB, I'm particularly keen on with the launch of the 9-inch DEX, which we're expecting to launch anytime coming up here. And of course, they are doing their final order updates and must be getting very close. And of course, that is a meme deck. So anything that's a meme should do particularly well, particularly these big copies like Pepe and SHIB. So they're probably it's the quiet before the storm for that. And remember the Pepe, the 9-inch DEX, it was a $16 million sacrifice. So there's a lot of interest in that project to succeed. So it's going to be fun to see that. All right, so let's have a quick look at DAI here at the moment. So DAI here just managed to stay up here. And of course, here's the 1 cent target up here. Can it do it? Let's see. Looking good for it. Looking good. Look at this coming back like this. This is looking pretty good. I'd like to see some more, green here or something, or maybe another day start to head back up. But so far, PDI there is holding up. So fun times. I know a lot of people playing around with that. Wrap Bitcoin. Let's have a quick look at that. Wrap Bitcoin at the moment looking good too. Nice little bounce back here. If we can get a nice little green candle there, that's showing quite a bit of strength. 103. Remember, this is not actually backed by Bitcoin. But it's got a shared narrative around Bitcoin. So it's pretty good too. All right, so looking good there. And like I say, Pepe and SHIB looking also, they're relatively cheap by comparison. Look at them down near the bottom of their price chart there. So I think that the 9-inch DEX could put quite a bit of life into these two, Pepe and SHIB. There is SHIB having a bit of a green day there, up 15% there on versus Pulse. So nice little pump there for SHIB. All right. Now, my view, Pepe should be able to do the best out of all those because there's nothing really holding it back. There's no protocols. SHIB has, Shibarium and other things like that on Ethereum. I don't really think that's too important in the sense of why people buy it. So I still think Pepe and SHIB are definitely going to look good in the future. And we're in bear market at the moment too. So that's the other thing. All right. So that is kind of cool. Let's go to the meme coins. These are the medium-sized meme coins. And as you guys know, I always talk about the by liquidity. So we're sorting by liquidity. So I've got the biggest liquidity pools. Because sometimes really tiny liquidity pools can have big price percentage jumps, and we don't really want to focus too much on those. We've got where did the ETH go there at 79K liquidity, up 15%. Paul Pleb is 28K liquidity. That is up slightly. And what else there? Pulse Dodge, 21K liquidity. That is down 4%. So those are the three that will get support from the 9-inch DEX. So they're the ones I think are the next big thing to move once that 9-inch DEX launches, and we could see some pretty nice little mad gains in those. Outside those, of course, we've got Hex Orange Address is down 8%, and Dodge from Jeff Gadakis. I think it's the Jeff Gadakis copy, and that is up 16% there at the moment. So there's the classic copy, of course, and the new launch copy Dodge there from Jeff Gadakis and TrustSwap. The Ben copy is down 1%. It's got 10K liquidity. Those are kind of the leaders on my little list here of memes. And we're going to go to the major category, which is Pulsechain projects. So these are all the projects that have launched fresh contracts onto Pulsechain to reflect their projects. And of course, it's a range of ROI games to DEXs to aggregators, all sorts of things to wallets. There's lots of different types of projects on here as well. Endowment tokens. I mean, there really is quite a few listed here. We're getting quite a variety now. GameFi listed on here. With Lightning Network, on-ramps, with Pulse LN, things like that. There's getting a bit more variety here. Lots of DEXs, of course, lots of ROI games as well. So, and then GameFi too. So quite a mixed bag. At the moment, by liquidity, the best performer is SparkSwap. Managed to do a bit of a rebound after quite a big of a pullback, got to $1.20, got down to about 33 cents, and now it's back up at 66 cents, back up at 12%. Halgo there is up 5%, and of course, it's tied to Hex. TRH, of course, we're going to talk about that a little bit. That is pretty flat there with 210 liquidity. Tetra there is up 5%, and Patheus there with the DEX aggregator up 3%. Those sort of the leaders amongst the bigger liquidity. And another, if we sort by the 24 hours, then the best performance is TrustSwap, up 28%, and it's a swap token. So it's in this one, yeah. Then we've got 23% on Internet Money, 14% on Pulse Reflections. So the top three there. Even Weight token from Coast, the Fiat on ramp there is up 12%, and SparkSwap, the ROI platform, is up 12% there as well. So not bad. And Time Dividend has managed to edge out at 8%. So those are the leaders there, which brings us into TRH. So let's talk about that quickly. TRH news. We've got some news in there in the Discord, thanks to Archie. He's posted that in the chat there. And let me have a look at the details. So TYRH update. The burn token has about one more month. So there's a burn token. And of course, the burn token here you can see is part of the game. That has about one more month of inflation left in it. And that's from the bonfire. So if you go to the bonfire tab here, that is what they're talking about. And after that, it should be deflationary. So that's going to be good news for the burn token. That's just an FIY, of course. The market cap is pretty low on burn at the moment. So if we actually go back to burn, have a look at GameFi, let's do that. Look at the burn token. We can see that liquidity is at 3,700. So a pretty small retail liquidity. Remember, this is a GameFi project. And that's where the chart is looking at the moment. So down at 2,300 with 5 zeros. The liquidity is incredibly thin right now. So take that into consideration. It may have an additional utility in upcoming releases. So V4 is expected to come up. It's a little bit delayed due to the patch that they had to do. But that's probably something that's going to come up in the future for TRH, which is pretty cool. So that is the update. But TRH is still doing very well. Look, it's burned all these Richard Hart tokens. These have been burnt and destroyed. This is where third-party protocols will come in on top of the tokenomics. That's amazing already that Richard Hart designed with his team for Pulsechain and Pulsex. We've got third parties that are doing protocols that are burning these tokens as well. Isn't that fantastic? Really is an amazing place. Pulsechain is like no other place with tokenomics. That's going to show out in the future. So yeah, markets can do all sorts of crazy things, especially after you've been hit by the SEC. But hey, look, XRP got hit by the XRP, and they rallied in the bull market. So it's not going to hold back the rally, folks. And when you got superior tokenomics, man, it's going to be amplified. Let's put it that way. It's going to be fun. All right, so cool. That is the TYRH, and of course the related protocol on BNB chain, the TYCZ, which is currently ticking away, has only got 4 days left, and the bonus is down to 4%, unless of course you decide to sacrifice in the lobby $2,500 or more. Then you can get day one bonus, which is 25%, and plus if you use a referral code, you can get 10% bonus as well. So if you do want to get in there, it's 4 days to go. I think it's going to be a late run on this, and of course people are going to FOMO in at the end without the bonus, unless you do $2,500, and of course you want to get in on that. So definitely definitely worth chasing down there. And of course, if you're on a referral link, hit me up on that in Discord, and you can get 10% bonus on that. All right, should we jump away from that? 4 days to go though, not long at all, and it's going to be a superior version of TRI RH as well, because it's going to have new features in it. So good news there. Currently $952,000 in it, and 652 wallets. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next 4 days if this doesn't get over the $1 million part there, as they FOMO in the end. Only 4 days to go. 4 days. All right, let's jump away from that. We're going to get into the presentation. Yeah, that's the presentation. We're going to get into that. Oh, by the way, TYCZ update website will be updated tonight with the revised bonus information too. So if you're wondering why that's missing, that will be there too. All right, purple screen. What's this purple screen? Purple screen. All right, so that we're going to talk about the this is the main presentation. That's what we're going to be talking about. Where are we going here? We've got a couple more comments in the chat there first. Brian likes Hex Maxis. True. What else there? We got MB says that's probably Brian's alter ego. That's why he leaves the voice chat before joining Superman stream, says MV. We got Spike in the house there. What's up, Pete? Good to see you, Spike. Welcome to the chat. And we got Maxi Kobe as well. Good to see you too. And Brennan says, yeah, Genkai sold out, 179 holders. That's right. I didn't talk about Genkai. So Pulse Souls NFTs have sold out their 3,000 Genkais, and within about a day and a half, which is no mean feat. That's amazing result. So well done to Pulse Souls and Genkai. Those are the dual NFT collection, and well done on that one. So really amazing. Valiant says internet money pumping now, up 68% today, says Valiant. Yeah, well, nice move. We've got Craig Pitt in the house as well. Morning, everybody. Good to see you, Craig. All right, let's get into it, folks. The main presentation, four big DeFi ecosystems rolling out on Pulsechain soon. Let's go through these. And of course, when we say soon, we're not talking about soon, 2 more weeks. We're talking about very soon. We're talking about September, October. So it's going to be pretty amazing to see these roll out. So let's get into it. And what do I mean by ecosystem? So big obviously means big. These are some of the bigger protocols, right? Or bigger ecosystems. So these are the big four. And of course, we've got lots of other projects launching. They're not inside these ecosystems, right? So we've got lots of cool things launching. But what we mean by that is these are the bigger ones. DeFi, of course, these are DeFi protocols, decentralized finance. There's a little bit of DGN in here too, but apart from that, it's mostly DeFi, that high quality projects. Ecosystems meaning that either a team is leading it, and so we have a professional team, or a team is leading it, or group of teams, and of course they are making multiple protocols. So it's not just one protocol, not just one team doing one protocol, but a team doing multiple protocols. And the other part of the definition of ecosystems means that they are tied in together. So if they're not a team that's making multiple protocols, they are tied in through some commonality. So we've got three of these teams are in the first category. One of these ecosystems is in the fourth category. So we're going to get into that. And of course, they're rolling out on Pulsechain soon. So it's going to be fun. Let's get into it. All right. So the first one, of course, is liquid loans. And of course, this had a sacrifice, the second biggest outside of PulseX, of course. And of course, we're excluding Pulsechain. So let's make it number 3. $51 million US sacrifice for liquid loans. That is a huge amount of money. And of course, liquid loans is a professionally run team. This is a lot of these guys obviously got corporate experience and things like that. They're pretty cool like that, and they run a pretty tight ship. Now they've already launched Pulsechain Safe, of course. They opened up that product to the whole of Pulsechain users, which is a multi-sig. So you can do multi-sig with Pulsechain Safe, and that has already been launched. So that's great news. Fetch Oracle. This is the biggest thing coming in infrastructure for Pulsechain. So Pulsechain needs infrastructure and that protocols can use. And Fetch Oracle, of course, is going to be a decentralized Oracle on the Pulsechain, and it's fundamentally needed for a lot of these high-end quality DeFi protocols that need a reliable price and non-price calls. So it does price and non-price calls. And of course, in itself, it offers also a chance of making revenue through becoming a Oracle reporter. You can actually make a revenue and earn the Fetch token, which will be launched as well. So this is coming up. This is going to unleash all the big protocols that rely on a reliable price call system. So It's going to be really, really important. It's got checks and balances in it as well. You're not just relying on a single DEX or something like that, or getting manipulated by some clever programmer out there that decides to manipulate the price and tries to liquidate people or extract value in some way. So this is why you get that decentralized protection. It really is fundamental from a price call and security point of view, and the big protocols need it. So very excited about this, and of course it also offers revenue opportunities. So that is the next big thing. Once that launches, we know that the big protocols are coming. Probably within 2 weeks after that is probably a reasonable time. You know, you make it go live. It's on testnet at the moment. You make it go live, and then you just see that it's working. You tie it into your protocol, and then of course everything starts to work, right? So that's really exciting on the Fetch Oracle. Can't wait for that. Big deal. And then of course after that is Liquid Loans, the fork of Liquidity. Liquidity, of course, is super successful on the Ethereum side. And particularly when last year and the beginning of this year, we had all that CeFi carnage with all those protocols and, FTX and everything else going down. Terra Luna, of course, the bigger deal with the stablecoin mechanism. That is a bad mechanism. We won't have those mechanisms on Pulsechain, really. So that's going to be good. Ours are going to be the top quality models. We're either going to have fiat-backed stables or we're going to have collateralized Pulse or PulseX collateral. It's going to be a big deal. So Liquid Loans is collateralizing Pulse. That's going to open up a whole new feature set for Pulsechain. And of course, people will be able to use their Pulse to make new stablecoins, making stablecoins become a bigger part of Pulsechain too. We know that stablecoins on Ethereum are about 12% of the total market cap. So we could probably expect something reasonable like that to start building up. We already see that Coast at the moment is already moving up into the hundreds of thousands and not far away, I would say, from getting to the first million. So Pulse, CST stablecoin backed fiat is already rallying up there, and we're going to have more stablecoins coming. So I'm sure we're going to slowly increase our percentage of market share there too. And so, yeah, Liquid Loans coming. It's going to collateralize Pulse. It's going to create new stablecoin USDL. It's going to have a loan token, right? And you can earn on the platform itself through those two tokens. Or you can go off and borrow at 0% and go off and buy more of your favorites and rinse and repeat. So we're going to see a lot of cool strategies like the hot pool strategy and the haunted strategy and things like that. So it's going to be pretty cool playing in there. So big deal. And it potentially allows the big whales too to move some of their Pulse and then issue themselves stable coins. So we could see some pretty big accounts use this protocol, knowing that it's got reliable Oracle price calls and it's got battle-tested code generally through its fork of Liquidity with some adjustments for Pulsechain. So I think it's going to be a big deal there. I can't wait for that. Now, the other thing about Liquid Loans is that they also are making other partnerships that we do not know about. And one of them is particularly big, and we saw Crypto Crazy very excited about that. That is coming down the line. So this team's got, started off with 51 million, still got a lot of money there. They can make a lot of top quality DeFi protocols onto Pulsechain. It's going to be very exciting. Now, the other cool thing about this is that Liquid Loans will also be offering, I think it lasts for about 50 days or something like that, 30 days, 50 days, can't remember the exact day, but they will be having incentives for the liquidity pool. So you can imagine Liquid Loans there going to have, for the stablecoin USDL, going to have liquidity incentives. Can you imagine that? That's going to be so sought after. I'm very excited to see how that plays as well. So it's going to be really cool with the liquidity incentives. Excited. I know that's going to do very well. We already see doing well for these medium-sized DEXs that are launching. And looking forward to that. So, and of course, what is the big protocol that Crypto Crazy was talking about? Big partnership. We're looking forward to that and other partnerships that they make. So a really important team doing really important things with Pulsechain and going to be dropping soon. Now, obviously, a lot of people sacrifice the loan token too, but that's over a 2-year period. 25% is expected to come out at the beginning, with the rest of it coming out every month for 2 years. And the Hex Godwile, of course, went in there. I think it was the second biggest sacrifice after the Magic Carpet Ride team. And of course, his is not coming out until 2 years at the end. So really, it's going to be quite an interesting thing to see the loan token sought after there as well. So some bullish stuff coming out of the team and the tokenomics too. Pretty exciting. Now, obviously, it's going to be interesting to see the amount of people use it, and of course, the impact it has on a Pulsechain as well. With the collateralizing of Pulse, it's going to be fun to see all that play out. That's an empirical question. We'll find out in due course. Lots of marketing coming out from the team, though, right? They've been marketing. If you notice, Crypto Casey out there doing videos. So not only do we have Walrus out there, the growth manager, who's doing an incredible job, but we also have Crypto Crazy, the CEO now, doing tons of shorts, promoting liquid lines too. So it's getting close, folks, and expected to launch pretty soon for those. The Fetch Oracle will be the first thing, and then liquid lines up there. Now, Power City, of course, the big powerhouse. Obviously, another big team led by Just Ask Jesse, and a huge team of developers in there as well. Recently, of course, we had KDP was in that team. Recently left. Looks like KDP will probably going into doing more broadcasting and influencing. And of course, looking forward to that as well. Not only on X or Twitter X, but also on YouTube. Looks like she'll be expanding into there too. So we got Portal X, of course, which is up and running already, just like Pulsechain Safe. That is already launched. Portal X has been around for a little while, and of course, just recently added back in doing bridging trades as well, using some form of liquidity agreement or liquidity pool. What I can tell with Change now, obviously to do Pulse to Ethereum swaps. So pretty cool news for that. And you can do, it's not as big trades because they're not using a centralized exchange now to do the swapping. They were using OKX before. Of course, that pulled out, and so they've made their own solution. So good news on Portal X. And the one thing I want to say about that is all the bridges are now back up and running. And if you want to get to find out the links to all the bridges, what's actually working in terms of buying and selling on-chain and cross-chain for Pulsechain, check out our quick links in our Discord. So if you haven't joined our Discord, join our Discord. Get the quick links. We've actually gone through and went through all those just the other day, and they're all now back online. We've got all the on-chain swaps for Pulsechain. We've got all the on-chain swaps for Ethereum that are related to trading Hex and Pulse and stuff like that over on Ethereum. And, of course, we've got all the cross-chain swaps that are open now, and also the on-chain as well for Pulsechain to Ethereum and other chains. So we've got all of them there. We've got the official bridge. We've got Token X. We've got Ether Pulse, Portal X, Go Pulse, Change Now, Beetroot. They're all there. And Beetroot just went live today with its bridge. So congratulations to Beetroot. That is now live too. For small amounts on those last couple, there are smaller limits for trading, but you can do multiple trades, and that's pretty cool too. And we've also obviously got the fiat on-ramp, off-ramp with Coast, and I know that Brian will probably post his link to his Coast referral there. If you want to get 5,000 weight tokens by onboarding fiat to a CST stable, you can do that on as well on Coast. So definitely get into that as well. Also, if you're in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and Brazil, I have put my Easy Crypto link in there as well. And of course, if you like to on-ramp really well, it's an indirect on-ramp to Pulsechain, but a direct on-ramp to Ethereum, for example. If you're New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, or Brazil, the link is in there. Use that. I use it. Other people use it. It is so easy. They're very professional and particularly good through the weekdays. So definitely great on-ramp, off-ramp there too is another option for if you're in those countries. So we've got Portal X that's up and running at the moment. That's a DEX aggregator, of course, and they got the bridging there. The next ones that are coming down the line. So we've got a whole ton of these from Power City, and we've got Power City Core coming. Now, if you sacrifice for Power City, you will be getting the Watt token, keeping on that power theme, the Watt token, and you'll be able to stake it in the core. That will be tradable on the market. So if you missed out on the sacrifice, you will be able to buy it on the markets, of course. And of course, we know that these project charts are going to look amazing. A lot of people will want to accumulate some of these top quality DeFi protocols. So it's going to be fun to see. But if you put it in there, you're going to be earning fees. And the question is, how much has Portal X already earned in fees? I bet it's quite a lot because I think that's been pretty successful, Portal X. So it's going to be interesting to see what is waiting for people there in the Power City core from the earnings so far. Remember, it's 123 days that we've been live. And Portal X has been live a lot of those days. I'm not exactly sure when they launched, but a lot of days. I've forgotten when they launched, but it's been quite a while. So there must be quite a bit of fees accumulated in there too. So Power City Core could be pretty awesome to start off with those payments and getting a share of the fees. Very excited about that. Now, obviously, Earn Protocol's coming up too. Just like Liquid Loans, a fork of Liquidity on Ethereum, and one of the most successful protocols on Ethereum, of course. And yeah, excited to see that. I've jumped ahead there. So Earn Protocol, and that's going to be collateralizing Pulse X, not Pulse, but Pulse X. So even though Pulse X is down a lot at the moment, this is super bullish for Pulse X. You'll be able to take your Pulse X, put it onto the Earn Protocol, and then issue yourself, not USDL like on Liquid Loans with PLS, but you'll be able to issue a PXDC stablecoin backed by Pulsechain, and you put it on there and you can get interest-free loan from that and go buy more of your favorites or do whatever you want on there as well. And of course, they're going to have their own earn token on there as well, just like loan token on liquid loans that you'll be able to earn from that too. So there's multiple revenue forms there, and also lending leverage plays there as well. That's the cool thing about these two, liquid loans and Power City. Both of them are leverage lending plays as well. And of course, the only one we really have at the moment that's doing that is the Fiat fork of Aave from the PH Universe team. And we'll talk more about that in a second. But yeah, Earn Protocol, big deal. Now, they're no likely, not sure if I've heard them talk about whether they'll have incentives for their pools. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And of course, maybe they also, both of these teams potentially could have marketing come into play. Both of them potentially have that ability to do some formal marketing, which we don't generally see from DeFi protocols unless they've got enough money. So we might see marketing come into play too. Maybe see it on different crypto sites and stuff like that that these guys do to attract more users. So that's an upside too, and bullish for Pulsechain. So that's the Earn Protocol. What else we're going to say? We've got Pixel Park NFT market. So far, we've seen what? We've seen 4 of the big 6 NFT marketplaces launch. We're still waiting for 2 more, Mincha and Pixel Park NFT. So those are the 2 we're waiting for. And of course, Pixel Park NFT apparently is going to have some game-changing features that are on no other NFT markets. Waiting to see that. And of course, they may launch the bare basics to kick it off, or they may be holding off and just waiting until they finish that up as well. So Pixel Park NFT marketplaces come down the line. We'll have the big 6 NFT marketplaces up and running. We've got 4 up at the moment, of course. So exciting to see that come too. And especially if they've got some innovation features that are not in other NFT markets at the moment. Fun times. The Amplifier, of course, coming up. That's going to be a front end for liquid loans and Earn Protocol, the liquidity forks. You'll be able to automate strategies there on the Amplifier. That's going to be bullish. So really excited about that. That's going to be huge for retail adoption. The retail will really love that sort of stuff, and maybe even some of the larger whales. So that's going to be bullish. And then finally, the accelerator, the power of compound interest, of course, being able to compound on Pulsechain, especially when Pulsechain is relatively cheap to do it on Ethereum. It's pretty impossible for retail players to actually compound properly, to do compound strategies. When you got cheap fees, it is pretty good. And if you've got a cheap and fast network, using compounding features there like the accelerators are a big deal. So these ecosystems are going to be really powerful. Still yet to launch on Pulsechain. Pulsechain is where it's at with the big developers rolling out. And of course, these guys have been working on this for some time. It does take time to get these protocols up to scratch. So very excited about where this is leading. So the 2 powerhouses, Liquid Loan, Power City, coming together and working together as well, which is really neat. And of course, Power City needs the Fetch Oracle too, right? Needs the Fetch Oracle for price calls. They will have their own internal, for the Earn Protocol, they will have their own internal price call system, which is a centralized one. But that's just to supplement the decentralized one from Fetch Oracle. So they're going to have the robustness and price calls. You need it fundamentally for these contracts to pull the right calls and not be tricked by the market or any market players. So really powerful stuff going on there from the infrastructure. Next, of course, ecosystem is the PH Universe. So we've got liquid loans there from Crypto Crazy, Power City from Just Ask Jesse, a PH Universe from Buck, of course. If you guys know Buck, he's out there and leading the way on this one. Now, they've been bringing a lot of protocols to Pulsechain. They've been forking the heck out of Ethereum. So the top protocols on Ethereum with the top TVLs, they've been forking those and bringing them to Pulsechain, which is a beautiful thing, right? So let's have a look at it. We got Fatty, of course, which is kind of like a wallet monitor. It's got lots of other features on it. But Fatty there's pretty cool. Wallet management, portfolio management. But we've also got PHUX. Hopefully I spoke Fatty right. I think I did. PHUX there, the fork of Balancer. That is on Pulsechain, and that has done really well. At the moment, it's got about $25 million liquidity at the current prices of Pulsechain, right? At the current price of Pulsechain, it's got $25 million on there. It's had something like $170 million in volume trade through there too. So really big powerhouse amongst the DeFi. And of course, it is superior because Balancer offers you an invariant function for stablecoins, meaning that the ratio between those are much better than on Pulsex, for example, with the V2 technology, right? So it's got a better ratio for stablecoins. So it really is the place to be for stablecoin ratios. If you're wanting to get a nice clean ratio there, that's definitely the better one. But they're also supporting all the project teams. So they're supporting all the teams that are launching Patias, Internet Money. They're supporting them all and providing strong liquidity pools and helping them out as well with rewards. So it's been a really good place for project teams to provide liquidity on the old PHUX Balancer fork there. and they're going to be supporting liquid loans in Power City. It's going to be a beautiful thing. So definitely PH Universe, and it's going to be a powerhouse. The next one, of course, they launched recently was the Fiat fork of Aave. That launched on the old Pulsechain there. So that enabled the first piece of real leverage on Pulsechain too. So it opened up the first piece of leverage. And leverage is going to be really powerful for pushing up prices on Pulsechain. You wait and see, because when Liquid Loans, Power City, Fiat, and the next protocol launch, you're going to see that the power of leverage lending is going to be seen for the first time. And that's particularly true for Hex as well. Hex hasn't really had that. In terms of, you can do it over on Ethereum, but really people haven't really used it much. But definitely it's going to be used by a lot of people on the Pulse chain big time. So very, very excited about that. And of course, the last one, of course, at the moment, famous, the fork of GMX. So one of the biggest protocols, of course, doing decentralized margin trading. Yes, folks, at least you got the keys to your coins. And DeFi, you own the keys to your coins. But here, of course, you can do margin trading. So for people that like to do that, and we know centralized exchanges are full of these people that do margin trading. And of course, they can do it now and own the keys to their coins rather than not own the keys to their coins. They can do it on Famous up to 30x leverage, up to 30x leverage. So you can already see with Fiat, we've got some basic leverage in there. You add on Famous, where you can get up to 30x leverage. Amazing. And what could that do for some of the charts on Pulsechain? Going to be a lot of fun, folks. These are where you internally generate value. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And of course, if you don't like margin trading, you can go and provide liquidity. You can provide liquidity for these people to go and borrow your money and go and let margin trade, right? If they get wrecked, their position gets liquidated and you get your money protected. But in the meantime, if they don't get wrecked and making money, that's good news. They'll come back for more and you earn a really high rate of return. So Famous, there's going to be pretty fun too. And of course, if you've got the token there, you'll be able to stake that and earn some of the fees. 40% of the fees, 60% of the fees go to people that are providing liquidity there. So a bullish. Keep a lookout for that. And that is going to be a star. So if you think PHAX has got a lot of value on it with 25 million at the current prices of Pulsechain, imagine what Famous has the ability to do to attract those big capital players with big margin trading positions. It's going to be a lot of fun to see that too. Really is going to be interesting. Now, one of the things, of course, Fiat also provides is things like flash loans. There's things like flash loans, more exotic type of marketing, financial products that people can use as well. So definitely things that people can do. All right, so really, really cool from the PH universe. And no doubt these guys are looking to hunt out more forks of Ethereum, whatever else is left. I know these guys are going to go and try and hunt it down. And that's bullish for Pulsechain, right? Getting all these heavyweights from Ethereum over on Pulsechain, big deal. Especially when we're only on day 24. Now, the other one, ecosystem, is the one that's a little bit different from the others. So all these other ones have a team running them, and they're building out multiple protocols. But, of course, Zen is an ecosystem which is coming led by Jack Levin, of course, and Sun Tzu, those two. And, of course, they've got a team, and they are building out. But they've also got satellite teams that are building on top of the ecosystem. Now, how comes this is an ecosystem? Well, because they have to use the Zen to burn for their mechanisms. That's how it's all tied in. So instead of being tied in by a team or a leader, it really is tied in by the token itself. And Zen is coming in big throws. We already see that Zen is pushes up all the transactions, the gas prices, and as people go in to mint these things. But there's lots of more levels of DeFi and DGen protocols coming, or RO protocols coming to Zen. So, and these are coming to Pulsechain. So it's very exciting to see. Zen is already obviously on the chain, on Pulsechain. But we've got DB Zen coming on the 23rd. There's a big ROI game, a passive income game, and that is coming to Pulsechain on the 23rd of October. At the same time, we've got a DB Zen NFTs launching as well. They're coming to Pulsechain on the 23rd of October, and these are DB Zen is about to launch on the 14th, which is tomorrow. It's about to launch on I think it's Polygon, the first one. So and then a week later, it's going to be launching on another 5 or 6 chains, including Ethereum. And then another week, it's going to be launching on the rest of the other chains, about 5 or 6 as well. And that will all be launching. And then later in October 23rd, it's going to be launching on Pulsechain. And this is going to be big. These two are the most successful protocols on Zen. And of course, they're going to be bullish for Pulse, bullish for DXN, and of course, bullish on Pulsechain. So it's going to be a big deal there as well. All right. So yeah, really fun times there. We're going to see a boost in Zen NFTs, which is already on Pulsechain with Zen. So Zen and Zen NFTs are already on Pulsechain. We're going to see a boost for those, and it's a boost for Pulsechain and boost for Pulsex, right? So it's going to be boost all around. That's what you want. You want these protocols and huge communities in these. Like, let's not discount. There's a massive communities, and they're going to flourish. I think Pulsechain is going to be one of the most valuable chains on the planet. And getting these protocols on here early is really, really cool. And I think if you've got one of the better protocols out of all the chains that Zen is on, then that's the one you want to hunt down. Just like Ethereum has got high value, you want to hunt down the chains that are going to have high value. And I think they're going to perform pretty well. So expect a lot of action there. Now, we also got Zen game coming as well. This is another what I call AAA ROI passive game. This is coming as well. And of course, this is going to be fun too. This is, I think, is incredible as well. So 3, what I call the best of Zen is coming as well. Now, obviously, sometimes when you have protocols launching on these things, sometimes they fail. The ones that have failed, not yet coming on to Zen. So that we're just getting the high quality ones, are really bullish, and they're all tied in through burning Zen on a Pulsechain. So that's bullish too, right? Because you burn Zen on Pulsechain, you're burning Pulse as well. So it's kind of cool like that. The 333 auction also is going to come down the line, maybe next year, the beginning of next year. That's going to have an auction every single day burning Zen. So there we are. It's going to be amazing for Pulsechain. Burn Zen, burn Pulse every day, and buy the loads of it. So what the implication, of course, of all these protocols, we'll talk about in a second. And then, of course, they've got lots of other protocols coming down the line as well. So really, it's going to be impressive. These are the 4 big DeFi ecosystems rolling out on Pulsechain soon. And they're going to have a big impact on the prices, on the leverage, and also on the opportunity for you to earn passive income, and also on infrastructure, also on the buy and burn on Pulsex and the EIP 159 burn on Pulsechain, on the transaction levels. And so you might reasonably expect maybe we're going to see, as Richard was talking about, these people are going to bid up on the chain, and things could get more expensive. What's more expensive? Ethereum's more expensive. What happens there? Ethereum is more expensive. So if it gets more expensive on Pulsechain, Pulsechain becomes more expensive. People start to understand that the chain is being used, and it's the burning tokenomics, which is superior to Ethereum, is also accelerating. So we've got better inflation deflation with the blocks, and we've also got compared to Uniswap or PancakeSwap, whatever else, Pulsex is super buy and burn is playing out. Of course, we just did 2% buy and burn. So really excited about these. And with the leverage lending as well, it is going to be a beautiful thing, folks, on the Pulsechain. And of course, this excludes all the other protocols that are launching on Pulsechain. Many good ones there. We talked about 9inch and others coming. PulsePot, there's many coming down the line there as well. So yeah, fun times. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That is the 4 big DeFi ecosystems rolling out. And of course, Zen is coming in October. So expect to see some high gas prices and things like that as well. So yeah, that is cool. Which brings us into Hex Daily Stats. Shall we get into that? Before we do though, let's get back into the chat here and catch up with some of the people who have arrived here as well. Let me see here. We definitely got up to Craig. Morning, everybody. Good to see you, Craig. And Pulse Bezos, hey, good evening to you. Ross says 2 more weeks. Yeah, 2 more weeks. What else there? Valiant says 119% now. Wow. Getting excited at that by what are you talking about? Internet money. Yeah, doing well. What else? We got there's the Discord link if you want to join our Discord. Get in there, folks. It's amazing in there. We've got great people and great information. Brian's in there says, thanks, boss. Get your weight token. Yes, if you want it fiat on ramp to Pulsechain directly to CSD stable through the coast, get 5,000 weight tokens. And that's Brian's referral link there. And he's at number 2 now. Number 2. So doing well. Valiant says awesome potential from these projects. Absolutely awesome. It's going to be really cool. Scotty says win 9inch. I think it's any time now. I think they've probably done most of their audit changes they had to do. They had delays with the audit, but it's probably any day now, Scotty. So we'll just keep an eye on that. No formal date, but they'll probably have some sort of stealth launch, is my guess. We'll see. We'll see what they decide to do there. Hexy Bastard is the one to follow if you want to follow him, Scotty. It's probably the one to follow on that one. I'm so excited for both of these protocols. Church Universal one that says. So I guess you're talking about Liquid Lines and PowerSid, the first 2 I was talking about. We got Hex Video as well. Whoa, Zenekin's welcome. Yeah, it's going to be big for the chain. and I've been highlighting that for some time. So don't be sleeping on things. They're going to be bullish for you. Anything that comes on and uses your Pulse chain and you got Pulse, you'll be happy about, and Pulsex as well. So not bad. All right, so let's get into the Hex Daily stats to wrap it up. We're up to now 10 minutes. Boy, that went a bit longer than I thought, but this is the way it goes when you've got so much to talk about. All right, so day 1380, can you believe it, on Ethereum? Hex.com, check it out, folks. Hex.com. You can buy Hex on Pulsechain or Ethereum, and of course, swap it for T-shares, or you're basically burning it for T-shares. And T-shares, you can start mining more Hex, which is pretty cool. So 12th of September, we got the price of Hex on Ethereum at 0033, so 33/100th of a penny, up 0.4% after 4 down days. And of course, we got the payout per T-share looking spectacular, 6.722 Hex per T-share. We've got a dot date in the share rate, which is pretty cool. Earlier pays better in Hex, of course, getting it before the share rate goes up. And the average mining length, 7.09 years, is the average mining period for most people that are holding, or for all the people holding there. APY rate is 39, almost 40%. Amazing stuff. Let's have a look at the ownership pool. Increase of 1,174 T-shares, or trillions of shares. And of course, that's 9,810,000 T-shares inside the ownership pool of Hex. Now, Hex is really easy to understand. We have a reward pool with the Hex in it every day, and we have T-share in the ownership pool. So T-share stands for trillions of shares. So if the reward pool, the Hex ownership pool, the T-share pool changes each day, then the Hex payout per T-share changes. That's pretty much simple. How do you get more T-shares so that you earn more Hex? You basically get in early. Earlier pays better because the share rate goes up every day, or most days. Not every day, but most days. And of course, with longer pays better, you get 10%. You get longer pays better, you get 20% more shares per year that you decide to mine up to 10 years, which is 200%. And of course, bigger pays better, you get up to 10% bonus, up to 150 million Hex if you decide to go mining for that. So that's the way to go, get more T-shares and earn more Hex. That's pretty much it. All right, let's go to lock percentage of coins. 9.33% of all Hex is locked on the old Ethereum. Big penalties today, 2.3 million Hex. That goes into the reward pool here. This is the reward pool I told you about. The reward pool is the payout pool. Looking good there, being boosted by penalties when people don't keep their responsibilities with the T-share miners. Looking at the liquid holders, we're up 15 today. Yeah, we're up 13 yesterday, up 15 today. That's good news. And the T-share miners down 14. This is our headline number. We're sitting at 120,155 miners at the moment on the old ETH chain. Looking at Pulsechain, of course, day number 123. And of course, doesn't show that, but that's what it is on the old Pulsechain. We got the 12th of September, 2023. And the price there is at just over 7/10 of a penny. Yeah, and we're up a massive 5%, which is not too bad. A bit of relief rally there, back over 7/10 of a penny. We got the payout per T-share, 6.7 Hex per T-share. The share rate is actually up on Pulsechain, 13.4. So earlier pays better. That's slightly more expensive now, 29,267 as well. We got the average mine length is shorter than Ethereum, 6.98 years. And of course, the APY there slightly lower, 38.92% today on the old APY. That's for existing T-share miners, not for new ones in particular. I think the maximum you can get now APY on terms of Hex payout is around about 32, 33%, somewhere in that ballpark. If you do it max out, max period. What else we got going on here? We got an increase of 4,700 T-shares in the ownership pool. We got 9,849,000 T-shares in the ownership pool there, so more than on the ETH chain. Where else are we going here? We got lock percentage of coins. 9.52% of all Hex is locked on the Pulsechain side. We had pretty good penalties as well, 2.4 million in penalties, and so their reward pool there is up at 66 million Hex today. Isn't that nice? So if you've got T-shares in mining, well done to you, because you're getting a bit more of a booster there. Changing current holders, up 27 liquid holders, but the headline number in miners up 4 to 124,109. So Hex.com, folks, check it out. Links in the video description. Do your own due diligence, your financial diligence. And of course, if you have any questions, get into our Discord. We do have a crypto helpline, which is probably the only social Discord out there that does. It's trying to actually help you. So get in there, folks. That's pretty much how it rock and rolls. So we've just started a brand new day, of course, on Ethereum. Hex on Ethereum, day 1381. We're in year 4. And of course, day 124 on the Pulsechain. Hex.com, check it out. And of course, a lot of cool metrics here as well. Now you can find Hex Stats, hexstats.today website, and you can find that in the useful links in our Discord. We've got all the links to Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulsex, and many others, and the useful links there at the top of the Discord. So join in there as well. Great place to be. Like I say, best information, best community. inside. So definitely check that out. All right, people talking about internet money. Let's have a quick look at check of that just before we finish. Internet money there. Look at that. Wow, 100%. Look at that. That's internet money from Internet Money Wallet. Look at that chart on the hourly. Woo-hoo! Hot dog, dog. That is doing well. 709715 is the price there. 22K liquidity, up 106%. So definitely the standout performer as well. Let's have a look at the, that's the daily, is it? That is the daily too. That's a daily candle. Wow, look at that. That's up dramatic. So what's it up over the, how many days is that up? That's up to 300%. 300% in 8 days. Wow, internet money. Go. That is really, really cool. What a great place to finish. What a great place to finish. What a day. What a show. What a show. Have you guys hyped? I mean, that was, I hyped myself up. It's absolutely amazing, the stuff that's coming. So, and the chance to DCA in at these prices, it's pretty insane. People are going to come back in the future. You look back now and you go, oh my God, that was amazing. The opportunity that we had. So just remember that there's always the forward future. A lot of chains out there. They have nothing. They have no forward roadmap. They have empty chains, ghost chains. We have it all. We've got the big community. We've got the big developer crew. We've got highly engaged community. We've got great technology, awesome tokenomics. Really, we are spoiled for options at the moment. We just have to hold on during the bear market here, and of course through the SEC event. We are over 6 weeks now, and I think by the time we get through the 8 weeks, we'll probably have the worst of it out of the way. Especially with all these protocols launching, it's going to be a bullish outlook for the old Pulsechain. So yeah, hold on to your hat. That's where your Top Gun hat. What else there? Let's jump over that. Richie Roberts says, thank you, Superman. You're the best. Hey, you're welcome. And likewise there, Richie, appreciate it. And of course, head over to the Superman's other channels to drop a like and subscribe. Yeah, you can drive to the other two channels that I've got, Superman Crypto and Pulsechain X. Pulsechain X just needs a couple more subscribers and we're going to be at 500. So that will be cool for that chain as well. Good way of supporting the chain as well. We'll get that metric down. Adam says, what a show. Indeed. Good times ahead for sure, says Adam. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And we got Kim as well from Superman Crypto. Hi, sir. And Soars. Hey, Kim. Always a pleasure. And welcome to the chat. We're about to wrap up, though. An hour and 18 minutes. I was only planning on like an hour. And we're now in 18 minutes. Man, oh man. I hope you guys have a good day. It is incredible here. I'm going to go from a walk, day number 50. Day number 50 walk today. Isn't it crazy? Day number 50 today, the walk. And it is sunny outside, I'm glad to say. So I'm going to go for that walk. And I'll be back in Discord afterwards. Amazing. Big shout out to Sandy. We're thinking of you, Sandy, out there. I know you're away for a couple of days. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you back there, Sandy Beach, as well. Take care, everybody, for sure. Final comment for the day. Many thanks for the info. Always a pleasure to observe and learn from the Superman, says Valiant. You're welcome. And I'll catch you guys at the same time tomorrow. Rock on, folks. Rock on. Let's play out some cool music on the way out since we're partying today. Let us get in some cool music. Bam. There we go. Peace out. Bye for now. Take care. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Woohoo!
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.